Now, recorded crime across the East Midlands rose slightly last year, prompted by a sharp increase in the number of people reporting sex attacks and domestic violence.
Yes, the new figures show that offending rates are still far lower than they were a decade ago. Well, our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball is here and can tell us more. Good evening, Jeremy. What story has emerged today?
Well, these are the official crime stats for 2015 from the Office for National Statistics. Overall, they say it's a positive picture. Their national survey of household crime fell sharply yet again. But crime recorded by the police went up, and here in the East Midlands, a 2% rise was recorded in those offences last year. Now, that's way below the national average, but the details make very interesting reading. Reports of sex offences surged by 34% last year. Experts think that's because more victims have been encouraged to come forward after big, high-profile cases. Reports of violent crime rose by 17%. That's being linked to more support for victims of domestic violence. On the other hand, robbery and personal theft both fell by 12% across the East Midlands, and there was an 11% drop in reports of burglary from people's homes last year.
So, Jeremy, why does there seem to be such a big drop in items that have been stolen?
There's some really interesting theories about this. First of all, most of our homes are more secure. Secondly, the police are getting better at targeting prolific offenders. As well as that, some experts think that teenagers spending their time on computers means they're not spending so much time out on the streets making trouble. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is that these crime figures don't tell the whole story because, of course, criminals are moving onto the internet as well. And a lot of those new online offences simply don't get counted.
There is a section of crime which A is growing and B is underreported. And quite often when I go and speak to a crowd, I say, right, who in this room has been a victim of crime in the last year? And maybe 2 or 5% of hands will go up, something like that. I say, right, who in this room has had an attempt at phishing on their online banking account and so on? And you'd be amazed, typically in excess of half, that people have had that sort of thing. Not only are they new, but they are very harmful.
And Derbyshire's Chief Constable as well is very wary about using these crime stats to judge the police because he says they don't tackle some very serious problems like online grooming, like modern slavery, and he wants his officers to focus on those serious hidden problems too.
OK, thank you very much indeed, Jeremy.